We're looking at the rankings. I'm next in line. I don't blame Dricus for trying to duck me for fucking Whittaker. I can't say that maybe I want to do the same thing. You go and you walk through Whittaker, and then you you lose to me. The world knows you lost. Data knows you lost. So like, I don't blame the guy for trying to duck me. I'd probably do the same damn thing. I mean, would you rather fight me or Whittaker after what he did to Whittaker? Like, you already know we're gonna have a 5-round war. Like, that's gonna happen. We're gonna go for 25 minutes and give some brain cells to the god, or do you want to go fight a guy who you broke in one round? So I don't blame the guy. I'd be trying to do the same shit, dude. But that's not how rankings work. That's not how the UFC works. We're gonna fight my man to the death. I don't want to discredit Izzy, and I like Izzy. He's a stand-up guy. I love Kelvin. And I think Kelvin's such a great guy. He's a warrior. But like, I've trained with Kelvin for years. And when I watch Kelvin go in there and have that kind of fight with Izzy, I'm just like, are you really that good, Izzy? You're tall, but are you really that good? So I wasn't surprised one bit.
That's interesting you say that, because at the press conference after you fought Paulo, you said the same thing about Dricus, because someone was like, "Hey, what's going to happen in that fight?" I don't know if you remember this, but your exact words were like, "I don't think Dricus is that good." So maybe you just don't think.
Well, it's kind of hard. So like, you look at it from my perspective when I fought Dricus. Watch the fight. Until I had that, I mean, dude, that cut was nasty. Like they said it was in the muscle. Until I had that cut, I mean, like, this has been a pretty standard, easy fight for me. It was pretty easy. And then, dude, the cut was so bad that I couldn't see out of my eye. I'm left eye dominant. I just couldn't see anything. I went 2 rounds of like, I can't see. So even the 5th round, I couldn't see, but I was just like, well, we're just bite the mouthpiece and fight. So you have to come from my perspective after fighting both of them. I went 2 rounds where I was like, oh, this fight's actually relatively easy. So I mean, again, I'm firsthand. I just thought Izzy, I don't know. I thought Izzy would have been a little bit sharper, but I still stand by it. Look what Kelvin did to Izzy. Like, that should not have happened at your level. I mean, dude, Dricus is a weirdo, man. Maybe he throws another headbutt and cuts me again. Maybe hopefully cut this side of my face. But no, dude, I'm always confident. Like, at the end of the day, like, I just want to have a war. Like, I think the thing going into that fight, like, I'm going to wake up Saturday morning, I'm going to have all my gear, I'm going to be looking at the clock, and I'm just going to know that, like, I'm going into a fight that's going to get some brain damage, and it's kind of like it's kind of a nice feeling, knowing that you're going to go and just have a war. It's kind of nice. It's like a big moment in your life. It's exciting. I mean, Dricus, he's a stand-up guy, dude. Like, I don't really have any. I mean, dude, he's a good guy. I don't really have any bad shit to say about him. But it's like, me and him are fighting for something that matters, that we've spent our entire life for. It doesn't have to be a personal thing. It's like, we are in that moment. If me and Dricus could kill each other, we would kill each other. If Dricus knew in round 3 that when we're fighting, if he could throw an overhand and take my life, he would do it in a heartbeat. And I would do the same thing. But we don't hate each other. It's just, we're fighters, man. We're gladiators. That's what we do. We make a living by being violent. That's just part of the job. We did an interview where he was like, "Oh, well, Whittaker this, Whittaker that." Like, no, ain't no Whittaker. It's me. It's me.
The only other thing that came up was your friend Alex Bejeda saying that he would go back down to 185. What did you think of that? And then Dricus showed a lot of interest in that.
Alex is a big ass ain't going back down to 185, dude. Like, as a welterweight that moved up to 170 or 185, once you get used to that weight class, the thought of going back down sounds miserable. I think Alex should fight him at 205 any day of the week. But and I think Alex any day of the week is 205, 100%, dude. But Alex has a good fight with Browntree. I think it's a really great fight for Alex.
Yeah.
So, dude, even when I lose, I have no ill will towards people. Like, it's like, dude, we're fighters. Like, once me and Dricus fight, like, whatever, dude. Like, we have 25 minutes to prove our shit once it's done. Now, I remember seeing Alex for his last fight in the back room, and dude, he looked like death. Like when he last middleweight cut, I walked to go say hi to him, and dude, he just looked like death. Like to a point where I'm like, man, like this ain't good for you, dude. Like you go up. So I think at 205 you do in a heartbeat, but yeah, 85, man, I can't see him doing that. Luckily for us.
You win the championship against Dricus. And actually, first of all, have you heard from the UFC at all? Like, when would you guess this thing's going to happen?
Oh, man, you know me. I'm always in shape. I'm always training. I don't take days off whenever they want it.
And also, I don't see a world in which this happens, but they have talked about South Africa, and I know you tweeted about it. But do you think that's even a possibility?
Like, dude, no, not yet. I think maybe at some point, but they're not ready yet. And dude, South Africa's such a like. I don't say that. Everyone's like, I know I talk a lot of shit, dude. I've been to South Africa. Like I've fought in South Africa once.
What?
And it's
like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. And it's just like, I just remember like it's racist, it's shitty, you know, it's like everybody's impoverished, like no, well, actually not everybody. The black people are poor, the white people are rich and live in compounds. I just like, don't send me to these places, you know, like, you know, South Africa is rated the most unequal country in the world. I mean, how the do you even get, they got North Korea, dude, like, what are we doing here? You know, so yeah, the World Bank, again, don't trust the World Bank, but they rated it the most unequal place in the world. And like, come on, dude, like how the earn that title? And again, I've been to South Africa. I can attest South Africa's.
How did you get a fight in South Africa? That must have been a long time ago, right?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I got arrested, and I actually retired from fighting, and I got arrested, and I had to pay a bail bondsman. So it was like, yeah, hey, right? So it's either pay your bail bondsman or go to jail. So if you need quick cash, what do you do? So I went and fought one of their, like a guy named Donovan Hockey on like 2-week notice in South Africa just to pay a bail bondsman, not to go to jail.
Wow, that is an extremely random story that maybe we'll get into a little more.
Also, how I got back, literally how I got back in MMA, because I was like, this sport, I'm broke, I'm living in gyms, I'm 19 years old, riding a bicycle like a loser, like I'm done with this shit. And then I got arrested, and I was like, oh shit, well, I guess you got to pay a bail bondsman. You're going back to jail.
You go and you win the title back against Dricus. Do you think you'll ever see Izzy again? Do you think like, because that's a fight?
Man. You know, I've never picked a fight. I've never said no. I've never said anything. You know, if he wants to come run that shit back, run it back, dude. I don't give. You know, just leave your dog collar at home, you weirdo.